All right. Good to have everybody here. Thank you for joining me today. Appreciate it. I'm Todd Rains. I'm here in Allen, Texas. It's a bit warm in here today. Got the fan running, so if you hear the fan, just let me know if you hear it, first of all, I guess. But yeah, it's a little getting a little sticky already. I've got to re-insulate my shop walls. I think all the insulation has fallen. Anyway, I'm here every other Friday. I'm the owner, along with my wife, Shelly, of the Woodturning Tool Store. And these live streams are just kind of get in the shop and share with you and get to connect and say hi. So speaking of that, let's just say hi to a few more. We saw a few in the intro. So David Perez, thank you for joining. And Anthony, good to have you here. Nice to have you join us again. Thank you. And let's see, Robert from over in the UK. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. David from Rhode Island, I believe. Misspelling there. No problem, David. Lee Torlet, good to have you here. And Bill and Connie from down under. Well, I don't know if it's New Zealand or Australia now. I think it's New Zealand. And so good morning. Bright and early in the morning for you. Paul, good to have you here. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Over in the Essex, UK. We got a couple of overseas folks. Larry Hunter, Wayne, good to have you here. Thank you. Let's see. Richard. Hello, Todd and Shelley. Cindy, everyone. Sunny Lake, Winnipesaukee and North, I'm not sure. North Hampshire? Maybe that's meant to be North Hampshire. Not sure. Dick, thanks very much for joining. Appreciate it. Anyway, like the Sunny Lakes. So, Jerry, good to have you here. Mike O'B's on. Thanks for joining, Mike. Appreciate it. And let's see. There's a few others. Everybody's saying hi to everybody. Patty Jennings from New Jersey. Good to have you here. Glenn Crandall, as always. Good to have you from North Florida. Dennis Wall. Paul Mills. Milo. Susan's on along with her husband. Thank you, Susan, for joining. Appreciate it. So it must be a busy household there. Maybe one of you is joining from work. I'm not sure, but either way, appreciate it. So Ward, good to have you here. Let's see, Derek. I think I'm running out of. There we are. I've run out of all of them. So thank you all for joining. So right now, this weekend today is the first day of the Rocky Mountain Woodturning Symposium up in Loveland, Colorado. So Cindy's up there. She'll be has her vendor booth, and she's demonstrating a couple times in that symposium. So we've normally gone as vendors as well. We just have not been able to make it work the last couple of years. But everybody that's out there in Rocky Mountain Woodturning Symposium, have fun. And to kind of celebrate that, we had a little sale going this weekend. I don't know if you all saw that, but it's basically let me get on the corner here. If I'm on the right page, I don't think I'm on the right page yet. I was. Under the special deals. So I think we had some measuring tools there. So there they are. Sorry, it's a little slow on my mouse here. So that's going well, the radius gauge. I've got to update that picture because we've got a new filament that's a little bit darker orange. I don't even have it out here yet. So but those are back in stock. So that's a lot of fun making those kind of things. I actually had a what was it? We have a garbage can in our kitchen, and the pedal broke, and I'm just trying to get my thing back to working here. It's not working. I'll just do it this way. Trying to get big again. Anyway, and so we pulled it apart yesterday. I mean, garbage cans for kitchens are like $100. That's crazy. So I got some steel rod. I fixed the pedal. The little plunger mechanism was kind of slopping around, so I 3D printed a sleeve for it. Anyway, so it's kind of amazing the kind of things you can fix around the house when you got a 3D printer all of a sudden. So it's kind of fun. So oh, we lost my mouse again because I was over there. David, thanks very much. Appreciate it. I do hope it's useful for everybody. It's kind of a neat thing, so check that out. Good to have you here, Robert, from Hawaii. Thank you very much. So what are we doing today? We are looking at this maple box again. The picture up there is what I took on the lathe, picture of it on the lathe a couple days ago. And so what I did, and you'll see it here in a second, it's kind of taped up here, you can kind of see, is kind of finish the inside and get that ready so we can just turn the outside. So that's what we're going to do. So let's kind of skip to that right now, and we'll take a closer look at it. I've got rags all over my shop lathe here. That one doesn't go out far enough, so let me try this one and zoom that out a little bit. So if I switch that one, you see I've got rags on the lathe bed. I've got this rag. I put a hole through it to go around my chuck, and it lays up on top there and top there, so that I could spray this inside. So this is a chestnut ebony lacquer. Do I have the can here? I do. This is great stuff for adding just a black finish to things. So I use that on the inside. A couple sprays. I think I need one more coat. I've got a little bit of grain texture showing through on one side. It's black is hard to show on camera, so I'm not really going to worry about it too much, but let me just pull this up here. And maybe we'll switch back to, I got to pull my things down. I covered most of the electronics. I had my dust collector going at the same time I was spraying, so all the overspray would go that way. So yeah, protect your shop when you're spraying stuff. Wrong one, Todd. Wide one, that's what I want. So here's the inside with a light on it. You can see this is kind of the part where I've got a little bit of grain showing through. Not too big of a deal. A lot of this is there's another step going to do here that you won't see today. I don't know if you'll see it at all, but I'll show you the results at some point. There's that crack that we had, and it is smooth, but it still shows up. And so we'll be hiding that as well with what I'm going to do next. So what I did first, though, before I sprayed that lacquer, is I ended up soaking the whole thing. Well, I soaked the crack with CA glue. I didn't soak the bottom, but I soaked this whole rim, inside rim, with CA glue. Kind of like a very, very hard sanding sealer, if you will. Sanded that down, sounded everything down to like 400. I didn't want to go finer than that, otherwise lacquer might have a problem sticking, but I wanted to get it pretty fine. And so that's what I did. CA glue around the inside of the rim, on this edge of the rim, and in that crack area there, just to seal it up, and hopefully it doesn't show up on us on them. Well, it's going to show up on the backside. We'll do the same thing when we get there, but it's pretty solid now at this point. So, and then 2 coats of spray lacquer, some blue tape. This is the exterior tape. It's kind of stretchy, so I kind of like that for masking, and then cut with a razor blade to get a nice sharp edge there. So that was what I did in between now and the last time we were here. So let's pull this off, get these rags out of the way. Shop rags are very helpful. They're all old tea towels my wife is finished with and given over to me. there's a few t-shirts in the closet as well that need to come out here. So so this is what we're going to work on today. We're going to part this off and then turn it around, jam chuck it. This would have been a good, and maybe I probably won't do it on this one, but would have been a good segue for what I talked about a few weeks ago, was setting up jaw plates. So these are the Axminster jaw plates, so I can put wooden jaws on here and make my own form-fitting dovetails. Between getting back from SWAT and other stuff, I just haven't gotten out in the shop enough time to do that for today. But I will do that because I got all these small bowls that I've got to finish off and show using those jaw plates. That's the wrong camera. Let me go back to this one. This little bowls here, and this one. We did a lot of these on the live stream. We're kind of doing another one, but this is, by the way, this is end grain. So this is this way, not a typical bowl. So this is an end grain box. This is a silver maple that we looked at and I harvested last year from a neighbor. So yeah, so that was squeaky. So let's just continue on and part this guy off. I'm going to leave the blue tape on, actually, just because I do want this thing protected, this tape edge, more than anything at this point. And so I think I'll just leave it on and part right through it. Should be fine. We'll see if we have any problems with that. So let me just double check the chat here while I'm up here. And let's see. Okay, thank you, Connie. Hamilton, New Zealand. So I think there's a good 8-hour difference. So you're probably 7 in the morning, 6 in the morning, close to 5 in the morning, maybe. So good to have you here. Michael from over in Slovakia. Good to have you here. And Michal, I think. I don't know if I said that right, but you can butcher my name any way you want. So let's go on. Good to have you guys here. I appreciate it. Robert from Hawaii. Yes, thank you. I think I saw that one. Yeah. And there's the other Robert I saw. So, and then we had somebody, David, sorry, not David, Dwayne Sims from Calgary, my old stomping ground. Grew up in Calgary. So nice to have you here. Let's see. EJ, first watch from Gorham, Maine. Thank you for joining, EJ. I appreciate it. Hopefully you get something out of it. If not, a little bit of entertainment and meeting some people online here and stuff. So please do that. So Robert said, I got plenty of silver maple. Yeah, it's a good wood to turn. It's soft, and has the kind of interesting grain pattern. I didn't like it on this one, so that's why I chose to paint it, I guess. So this piece is actually going to be a collaboration with myself and Joe Fleming. Joe is the owner of Airbrushing Wood, and he is out at the Rocky Mountain Symposium right now. And he's an airbrush guy. He's also a carving guy. He's also a great turner. And so he's going to take my box and do a lid for it. And that'll be part of our vendor showcase collaboration that we'll auction off for charity. So you'll hear more about that in a minute if you haven't heard about it already. Got my depth gauge, just trying to get the depth on this guy. So it's right at that. I better mark it because that is probably not straight in terms of how I put the tape on. It came up to this seam line, but may not be the same on the other side. So I got a Sharpie because my pencil probably won't mark on this. Sorry, I will need to go on the outside. I can get that. So that is the bottom. So I'll leave a thickness, maybe a bit thicker than that on the bottom. Hard to see maybe there. And then, so we'll part in probably about here. So that's where I'm going to part. And that'll leave us a good 3/8 of an inch thick bottom. About the same, hopefully, as maybe the rim. Let me get my tool rest in here, and we'll just... That didn't mark. My marker has gone dead on me. I have a pen. I have another one here. Big fat one. All right, where was that guy? That'd be a good enough line to cut to. Let me just double check. And yeah, that'll be a good 1/4 inch, maybe 3/8 thickness. Sorry, I said 3/8 on the wall thickness. Is actually 3/16 thereabouts. Got my 3s mixed up. Oh, that goes back up on the wall. Got safety glasses. Oh, before I turn, there's something on the floor here I'm almost bumping into. And it is this thing, this power cap. So I use one of these. That's weird, that button's, there we go. It's working sometimes. I use one of these when I'm not on, live here. So when I was doing all this inside work, I was using this guy on my head. It works well. I like it better than the Trend. I had the Trend Air Shield. It was a bit heavy. This one's balanced better. It's still a bit small on my big head. I don't know whether it's me or other people, but it works well, and I like it. I've been thinking of getting something else, but another time. That's still doing me plenty for what I need to do. So let's see. Phoenician Artist says, is that a homemade depth gauge? Yes, it is. I did a lot of woodwork when I was before I started turning, and so this guy is just a piece of. It's actually a nice piece of little mahogany with a hole offset a little bit on the length, and some steel rod. It's just steel. Yes, it is. It's magnetic. So, and then a brass screw with a threaded insert, so to capture that. So it works well. It's all you need. Make this length as long as you think your widest turning might be. So this one could be longer, but I can always add a face to it and make it longer and stuff like that. So, and that just slips through. I've kind of dulled the point on here, so it's not going to damage the wood too much. This point is actually better. It's not quite as brutal, but yeah, simple, easy to make. Bandsaw, sanders, drills. That's all you need. All right. Hacksaw would work as well. Let me get a tool. The parting tools we're going to use. This is a Carter & Son version of a parting tool. Let me just zoom out a little bit here. There we go. And let me get that question off there. Thank you for the question. Good to see that. And is that if you got a new feature, I think, to this interface I have, which is StreamYard, by the way, where if you put a question mark after your question, it'll kind of highlight it for me a little bit differently. So it's a new feature just came out the other day. I don't know if it's working yet fully, but somebody has a question, add a question mark at the end, and I'll be able to see if that's actually working. So, all right, nothing more to do but really part this off, and then we'll have a bit left for a jam chuck and go from there. So, yeah, let's. That's the wrong way. There we go. Let's get this turning the right way. Before I go any further, let me just double check. This has been in the chuck quite a while. Just checking. It is end grain, so it does tend to creep a little bit. And it's relatively dry. It was harvested last year, so it should be pretty good. This hasn't moved a whole lot after turning it, so that's quite nice. All right, a bit more speed. Freshly sharpened parting tool. This is, I think, the 1/8 inch version of the Carter and Son. All right, so right on that line. No problem getting that tape off. You know what? I'm going to have to put up my dust collector. That fan is blowing this shavings everywhere. So I have to turn that off for a bit. All right, blowing the shavings all over the place. All right, here we go. Just widen that out a little bit. This is a great moment to have this little microlight right up in that gap. I got my finger on the tape there, kind of freaked me out. So I can see down that part line. Let's get you guys over here to see it a little bit. There you go. So we got about 1.5 inches left there. That is getting warm down there. You can see it's kind of bluing it a little bit. So stopping every once in a while is a good idea to let it cool. I'm not going to part this right off. I'm going to cut it off with a saw. I do want to get it small enough that I can fit it in this tailstock, pinless tailstock that I have. So I just need to already pull that out for something. Oh, I did. I'll have it over here. Turn that dust collector off. So this little guy is a little folding. I've shown this before, but this is great for traveling if you need to part something off. Got them on Amazon. Great little saw. So I'm just going to use that now. What I've learned, though, with using cutoff saws, Ryobi saws, Dozukis, whatever they're called, the Japanese pull saws, is remove the tail, remove the tool rest. Otherwise, you end up slipping and hitting that metal bending teeth. So with this piece where I don't have a lot to grab hold of, I'd rather saw it off than part off and try and grab it and have it damaged. So there we go. That's the bottom of that. So we got plenty of thickness there to deal with, and there's that crack showing up. So this is going to be another reason why I left the tape on to hopefully keep that together when we turn that around. This is end grain, so expanding into it like this is just going to, want a tendency to blow it out. So, so dual purpose, paint edges and then also holding it together a little bit for turning the bottom. So let's take this tape off. We don't need that anymore. By the way, I did put a little bit of a shape to the side profile here. You can kind of see it's got a swoop there. It's just a slight return at the edge here. So at this edge here, it's hollow and then it comes back up. That's when you lift it up. It's not going to slip too hard out of your hand. I didn't want it completely the other way. It just fits in the fingers a bit better that way. I'm a little bit in the way of that. So anyway, that's kind of design there. We'll finish the bottom off, and then put a little taper or chamfer on this corner. So that is where we're at. So if I look at wide view, I got a little bit of here meat to take away. It's a smaller diameter here than here. So let's get up and set up to do that. So I'm going to use a different tool. Could use the parting tool I have, but I have this beading and parting tool, the robust version of a beading and parting tool. Carter & Son doesn't really have a beading and parting tool, but they do have a Badan. But I took that Badan. I'd have it out here, and I made a beading and parting tool out of it. So Carter & Son beading and parting tool, or Badan, is 3/8 wide. This one's 1/4 inch wide. So from the robust. So your choice of what you want to use, but that's where I'm going. So we'll make a little step here, and then let me just zoom that in a little bit more now. That might not be the best angle for that one. We'll leave it up there. What's this one look like? Yeah, we'll leave that one up. All right, let me just check chat. Oh, yeah, that worked. Thank you, Derek. Let's see. So Derek had a question. It shows up a little icon on it, so I can recognize when there's questions. I've made 3 different sizes of depth gauges, so that one of them will fit well on different size bowls. Yeah, it's a great idea. Maybe I might look at adding magnets to this guy, and then adding on longer bits with magnets and stuff to get over making 3 of them. But that's a great idea. Easy enough to make them. So good idea. Thank you, Derek. And then another question. He says, is the crack all the way through? I believe it is, but it's not going to matter too much to me. It's fairly solid. We'll see. Again, this is somewhat of a practice piece, and we'll see how well it stands up, and if it's going to move beyond that. I did soak that with CA glue, and when I finish the bottom, I'll probably soak this side. We'll see if that leaks through. Like I said, there's going to be another design in here, some more painting, if you will, or finishes that will hide a lot of that defect and stuff. So that's kind of why I chose to paint this. I wasn't particularly keen on the grain on the end of this thing that much. So, all right, I'm going to have to make this quick because I am starting to sweat too much. So I'm rolling. Oops, I got that question in the way. I'm kind of putting my beading and parting tool up there and rolling off to get a bit of a taper. And then I'll see if that's going to be anywhere close. It's not anywhere close yet. So flatten that taper out, roll it off again. And it's felt like it wanted to grab, so I'm just going to stop the lathe. And just see, it's not quite close yet. Let's see. Bill said, I bought that microlight. It's well worth adding to your shop. Yeah, it is. It's a great little addition. Fell down here. A little LED microlight with 2 magnets that sticks anywhere you need it. So nice long cord on it and stuff. So definitely a great addition to any shop. All right. I actually used it the other day. I was rebuilding, adding a component into my computer. So I was in the computer case, and I needed light. And I took this from the shop and plugged it in the office, and works great inside a computer case too. So I've had plumbers buy them and mechanics for under the hood or under the sink. So yeah, neat little thing. All right, here we go. keep going a bit further. Let's see where we're at. So we're just, it's hanging on. It's just about there. The other thing that I should maybe show or talk about is I tried to make the first 1/4 inch here of the rim straight, but the rest of it does angle in a little bit that way. It's not a flat wall. It's a bit of a tapered wall inside. So it's thinner at this point in the bottom than it is up here. So just adding a bit of shape to the inside. So we're right at where this thing kind of gets on. So I'm just going to widen this just a little bit. One reason was to get a nice clean face right there. And then touch it until we're just taking away that taper almost. Now I should just touch this corner just to bevel that edge a little bit. Not quite there. This is where patience helps, just to kind of slow down and make sure you get the fit just right. I'm going to rotate this because see if it shouldn't move across grain at all if it's going to move at all. So because it is end grain. But it's always worth checking different orientations to see where it might go. That might be the right fit. I'll just try and get it sunk down to the full depth. And so this is going to take a very light touch. And so I'm going to drop the handle. Let me see if, yeah, that one. Oops, wrong one. All right, so, oh, that wasn't the one I wanted. No, hang on. I am overhead. What did I do there? I'm really confused on my camera. Bear with me a moment. So I got overhead there. That's right. And I want this one. Not that one. Why is that? Oh, wide. Wide's the one I want, not above. Sorry about that. Had that screwed up. All right. So in the inset camera, I'm dropping the handle so I can turn this, twist it slightly this way to get cut more closer to the shoulder than out at the front. So it's not a whole lot. It's a very, very minor amount. That might have done it. We'll see. I've actually got a little bit of a hump right in the middle of my tenon, and we'll see if it gets over that. And then it's kind of like a snap fit lid, if you will. Not quite there. I don't want to push it too hard. This is end grain. If anything, I'm going to have tailstock support up. Just taking whispers off. Little creaks here and there. A little bit too much creaking going on, so take it back. I'm going to go to negative rake mode. Take a little bit off. Create that bevel just a bit more. So another reason why I might have this sort of shape on the bottom. I can get it off this jam chalk. I just kind of thought about that when I was looking at it, that I've got something to grip. A little bit more. Felt like maybe too much. We'll see. A little micro pings and tinks. There, I think that's fully on. Let's take that down a little bit. And we can, might as well while we can. I tried to make this tenon here, and let me move this. Did this die on me? This did die on me too. Oh, there we go. Wrong way. Yeah, that reset on me for some reason. This little nub in here, I tried to make small enough for the little mini live center that Cindy makes. And it's got this inverse cone nib to it, or tip to it. So that is going to go kind of on or around, maybe not quite small enough to go around, but goes right on that tip there, on that nubbin. And then we can clean up the bottom. So how we're going to clean up the bottom, probably I need to actually cut it from this side to that side. So that's going to be the challenge here today. Let me put that there. And so there might be some scraping going on here. Scrape cutting, if you will. And I'll start with I just sharpen this bowl gouge. We'll do some light scraping, shear scraping this way. See how that reacts. I really need to do a push cut across the grain this way. We'll see how this finish comes out. We'll go from there. It's going to be scraped and stuff so that we've got some taro to get rid of. But where it is scraping down to the final finish, or the bottom, I guess, it's looking okay. So a bit more cutting action. Let's do that with a small spindle gouge. We'll go across this way. It's kind of cutting across end grain. We'll see how well that reacts. It's just fine sawdust coming off. So there are a few curls. Let's see what that looks like. And maybe I'll take that off and switch to the end view. Much better. And let's see, let me zoom this a little bit. Bear with me as needs focus. I need to set my remote up for this again. Looks pretty good there. And if we take this up, it's not a bad surface. It's pretty good. I need to clean up. There's a bit more tear out here. That crack it's pretty wide open, so there'll be some CA glue to put in there. But I'm not quite finished the bottom design yet. There's some tear out up here. We're going to have a bit of a foot, and then this part will be slightly more recessed. So let's work on that. Let's do another full pass there. So start a starting cut with the. We'll leave it there. I'll bring this over just this way, just a little bit. Lining up my bevel in line and just lifting the handle into the cut a little bit. Twisting the tool to open up the gouge face. Letting the tool slide between my left hand fingers so I don't get myself cut on this edge now. That's always something to be aware of. Everybody's got a cut right on this part of their hand. So let's take a look at that. That feels pretty good to me. This point, yeah, nice. No more tear out. There's a little crack there. It's hard to see. But if you can kind of see it there, that little crack. There's a couple of them, 1, 2 right beside each other. But if we relieve that a little bit, there's another crack. So we've got some end grain cracks going on here, but that's what we're dealing with this little practice piece. So that's a good finish on the foot. That'll sand nicely. I need to create a little bit of a recess. So we'll do a little bit of a blind cut here in, and then almost like a bead, if you will. So right about where I want it. I think, actually, let me take a look at this, how long this big crack is. Should I make it that long? No, that's way too long. So, for a foot. So it'll cut that crack in half. All right, so I'm thinking then about here. And then roll into that bead. And then catch that edge of that bead. Maybe a bit more. Get my straight edge out. Should have a nice bit of clearance on that foot. So that looks pretty good to me. And maybe I'll define that bead a little bit more. Where'd that go? That goes there. Maybe I should do a little bead on the other side of that. Oh, well, you didn't see that. Sorry. I just did a cut into this inner groove again. Drop the handle, give it a bit of a twist over top. Lost that cut. I'll drop in again. Drop, lift, twist, and drop in again. There, that looks all right. A little bit of sanding. We'll clean that up. That looks like a good bottom. And then maybe I should put a signature row, a little, just use a skew on its side and put a couple of other lines in here, so where Joe and I can sign it. So maybe one. Trying to split this kind of into thirds. That's a good sort of signature line. Now we need to bevel this corner. So this is spindle orientation, so I want to go from high to low. So I need to reorient my tool rest. Let's just stop it while we're doing that. The last thing is going to be taking that nub off. So just a little bevel, chase and cut here, and then I'll stop and we'll take some questions. A little bit steeper. Nice little bevel. That's really just a shadow line for when it sits. And that cleaned up nicely. This held together. So now we pull this away and clean that up. Let me just stop here for a quick second and go through. We have some questions here. Excuse me. I need to get a little something to wet my whistle. All right. Let's see. We have question. Do you cut the lid flat or cut a little convex in it? So for this one, I don't know. I think a flat lid. I did a flat bottom in this because I'm going to do a little sort of motif design in the bottom. Well, that'll probably be off camera and stuff, but I'll show you the results when I get them. So to match that, maybe a flat lid or the inside the recess part of the lid, maybe that could be flat and have a matching motif. I don't know. That's going to be up to Joe Fleming when he gets the box bottom. He's going to do the lid. So good question, though. Thank you, Robert. Derek, with the end grain orientation, why can't you do a push cut from the other outside edge towards the center? You can, but I'm used to cutting from the center out to the outside. If I wanted a slightly cut this way, then cutting the way I did, where I pushed in here and cut across, is actually the wrong kind of cut for end grain, because all the fibers are sticking this way. If I can get that on camera, I'm cutting this one, I'm pulling this fiber up, and I'm cutting this one, pulling that one up. I know it's a very shallow, slight angle, so it maybe not mattering that much. So I'd really want to cut this way and cut this fiber supported by that fiber, that kind of thing. So that's why I kind of wanted to try and, if I was as good as Mike Mahoney, I've seen him do this on the bottoms of his foot. Maybe it's a universally accepted sort of, or practice, but if you get your tool rest low enough, and I've got a stop collar on this one, then let me get that out of the way. Then you could reach across here on the tool rest. Let me just get a different tool rest and kind of show this idea fully. Here's a nice little 4-inch rest without. I need to move my tailstock out of the way a little bit. Tighten that up just a little bit and move my banjo under there. So they'll reach under here and do a push cut. If I had a different, I need to drop that a bit more. Across this way. I'll reach under there, glide across this way. And I could have done that, but I just wasn't set up for it with that. And I haven't really done that. I think I've done it once or twice. So I chose to go this way, and it gave me a decent cut. So I'm okay with it. But that's the reason: grain orientation, cutting with the grain, cutting against the grain. So that probably makes sense. But essentially, the answer is cut the wood where you get the best finish. So it may not be the case that you have to follow the rules. So good question. Tony, thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Good to have you here. And Gary, thank you. Gary Bob. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I do too. That worked out. Todd, I had a question. Do you sharpen your spindle gouge using the Wolverine system? If so, what depth do you set it to stick out the holder? So I use, did I do that one? I did that one, I think, on a system. Yes. It's a good question. I have, I had the Wolverine system, and now I use the woodcut system. So let me zoom this out a little bit more and get me off of here. And I just get that question off for a second so I can show you. So this is the woodcut tool holder, similar in design to the Wolverine or the one-way system. The thing I like about this one is it's got rosette, basically, design on the tool holder. Let me just get that. That kind of is in focus. That's not bad. It's got these notches. So if I undo this, it's locked in, even if I undo this screw. If I do it up enough, then it's going to loosen up. And this pin back here is going to fit into these notches. And so it's positively locking on every one, unlike the one-way one, which is freewheeling and stuff. So I have my system set up where all my bowl gouges get sharpened on 7, and all my spindle gouges get sharpened on 5. So I would set this up to 5. And do I have, let me just see if I can move this the camera around to show you. Did I lose that? I lost that camera. 1 second. Oh, that came out. Lost power on that camera. Let me pop that back in. And it's back. And I'm just trying to get set up to show you the sharpening system over there. All right. So, Todd. Yeah, do you sharpen the spindle gouge on a wheel system? No. So here's my grinder. It's kind of just on other side of the lathe here. So over here, I'm trying to see if I can see myself. Yeah, I can. I've got a little gauge here for 2 inches. Oh, that's the wrong tool. I grabbed the parting tool instead of my spindle gouge. So I've got, and this has to happen with the Wolverine as well. I've got my spindle gouge here, but this platform or the clamping mechanism is a bit small for it. So I use this, if I can get it in there, a little plastic washer just to create a smaller flat. And I'd have to do this whether, like I said, whether it's a Wolverine or not. So I've got a little plastic washer clamped, and I lost it. We'll just say I had it. I'll clamp this down. And these are the robust ones, so they do have a flat on them all the way milled. So that's kind of nice. Get my hand out of there and get this clamped right. So it's kind of falling in this little groove that's milled in this thing. This is not a great demo. I shouldn't carry on here. But I have this thing here, 2 inches. I clamp it up. I've got this set on 5. I've got this always set this at the same extension. And that gives me 35 degrees. If I unclamp this, set it to 7. Now I put that in there. I've got 55 degrees. So that's my system. It's taken a while for me to kind of get there with it. Every sharpening system takes a little bit of trial and error to dial it in. So pause on that. So that arm that sticks out there, I don't ever change that, right? So that's always locked in that same position. Sometimes I do, but I always mark it back to, I think it's 88 millimeters exposure. So that gives me consistent results on my spindle gouges being 35 degrees, if I can show that, and my bowl gouges at 55 degrees. So that's always consistent across my bowl gouges, and that's the angles I like and stuff. So hopefully that helps. Wasn't a great demo. I wasn't set up to show that, but Todd, there you go. So let's see. Glenn asks, I'm confused. Are you working with the bottom or the top? This is the bottom of the box. This part could be the top, but this is the bottom. This is the box, and this is the bottom of the box. Good question. I didn't maybe explain that. And Larry said, do you lacquer the bottom? I don't know what I'm going to do. I might talk to Joe, see what he wants to do. I might leave it natural. There's got to be a piece of the wood that's going to show natural. So maybe I'll lacquer everything but this sitting ring here. If I, let's use that one. Maybe this part I'll leave natural, and I'll, well, if I color this in our signature line, it'd have to be something different. So I have to talk to Joe. That's really a collaborative decision. So good question, though. Let's see. Chuck, Todd, you may already know, but John Jordan had a printable template on his website for setting the Wolverine jig for different gauges and stick out. Probably still there. Yeah, I think I did at one point, and Doug Thompson has a similar thing. I just, since I sell the woodcut stuff, I got used to using this system. The one thing I like about it is that the little sliding bar, if I go back to it, let me go back to it there, and I can point to it here. This little sliding bar, you can see it ends up there. It doesn't stick back behind the grinder at all. It doesn't have to go back any further. This little pocket is what I use most. This pocket, I don't know if I can reach it. I can't really get to it. There's another little nut there sitting on top of the scale over there. That's for scrapers. So I can grind anything from spindle gouges, bowl gouges. I can grind my 1.5 inch roughing gouge in that tool holder. I don't know if it fits in the Wolverine. I haven't tried that. Maybe it does. I can grind scrapers if I needed to, but I tend to use the platform for that. So, by the way, this platform is one of those right angles. It's a great platform. Gil Lee owns a company, Right Angle Sharpening Platforms, and this is a little adder for doing the. It's got this little thing. You can stick it in different holes, mark up whatever ones you want. This adds on for a sharpening for skews. So I think I had it about there. So it gives you an extra tilt for skews and stuff. Great thing. I had the Stuart Batty back there, and I swapped it out for this one, and I like this one, for me, better. So yeah, anyway, that's a little plug for Lee and his right angle sharpening platform. Go get one, because they're great. Let's see. Derek, I'm glad that was helpful. I kind of fumbled with the tool holder on that small gouge, but I do have a little way around that. So I have the Wolverine, but unless I really mess up, I just use the platform and no jig. Yep, that's the way to go if you're good at that, and can do that. So let's get back to this and finish this off. And I'll just leave it. Well, I guess I can turn my camera around and see if I can get it back on task. Oh, that was not bad. How are we doing on time? We're about out of time, so this may be where I leave it today. Let me just focus this guy back up. There we go. The camera's back around. Let's just see if we can get that little nubbin off, and then we'll call it a day. So I'll pull the tailstock back out of the way. I'll just leave this tool rest on since it's here. Set it up for my gouge. I could, and I think I will, provide some extra insurance. I'm going to tape the box onto the jam chuck. And let's press all that down. That's just a little bit of extra insurance. And yeah, I know I told Sandy to wrap it the other way, and I didn't do that. But for expediency, I just broke my own sort of way of doing things. It is easier doing it that way that she likes. So I could do a push cut across this whole thing again now that I've got this orientation. Dropping the rest a little bit. But I'm really just going to try and clean up this center nub. So I got the same spindle gouge, and I'm just kind of nibbling away at it. I'm a little high, so I have to raise my right hand to get the cutting action on center. I really don't want to hear that high-pitched squeal, so take a much lighter cut. And let's just zoom that in. I'm going to have to refocus. I've got to find maybe a slightly better solution. Why is that not showing? Oh, I've got the wrong camera. Oh, I was focusing the wrong camera. Yeah, okay, Todd, that works. There we go. All right. So just little push cuts into end grain, which is not the easiest thing to do. It is a bit of pressure needed. That's why I'm getting some squealing. I've got enough of it gone. I think I can pick up a very light cut and cut to the center. If I do have a little bump there, I'll leave it because that will sand away. I don't want to pull that end grain out. So I don't know if that crack is traveling or it's just me. I'm not sure. So we'll have to see. So it's there, and it ends at that little bead thing. I have access now. I can actually take my spindle gouge, my skew, and reverse the sides of those grooves. So I went in this way before. Now I can get on this side and do the other edge. So let's do that as a final sort of thing to do. Drop the tool rest just a little bit. Line up very slowly, get in there. Just round that edge over and round this one over. There we go. I think that's it. That's the bottom of the box. Let me just get that. I might take that middle hump down a bit more because it is slightly raised. let's do that. Last thing to do, I'll take this down a little bit again. This is why I like my locking collar or my other tool rest. I just drop it down and that I think looks better. Yeah, it's pretty even all the way across, so I'm happy with that. So let's leave it there, folks. I guess before we go, I never even got to these guys. So let me. If you need to get in touch with me, drop me an email or give me a phone call. It's all right there on the website. Newsletter subscription and that QR code. I'm doing this at the end. I meant to do this at the break when I took questions, but Cindy does this. She'll be on next week. She's at Rocky Mountain Symposium. She may be live streaming this weekend, so watch out for her YouTube channel and those kind of things, or email. She may notify you at last minute. We are doing vendor showcase this year, fall again. You'll get, I think the registration link went into the reminder I sent out today. And it's November 15th, and that'll be a lot of fun. So check that out. If you're not on the newsletter, please sign up, and you'll get notified of these things and other things. So our wood sharing session, we had one just last week. A lot of fun. Went overtime, an hour and 48 minutes or something like that. We'll do another one in December, so watch out for that. And that was it, I think. So let me just get these last questions, and we'll call it a day. And that's no, it wasn't working. I have to fix that button. Let's see. Where'd it go? Gary said, why not cut the bump all the way off? So if I cut the bump all the way off, then I might pull the grain out. So it might pick out that that little bit of grain right in the center. And so if I leave a little hump there, I can sand it away and be sure that it doesn't have a little hole in the center. So that's why, Gary, especially useful for end grain, because all the grains are sticking this way. And so if you pull one out, you're going to leave a hole. And that's all the tear out that we saw earlier was all the holes of grain picked out. So Glenn, why am I holding my breath when you do that? I don't know. I was holding mine too. So all right. Thanks again, everybody. Always fun and educational. Makes a nice break for the day. I appreciate that, Wayne. I appreciate everybody coming and joining today. So thank you for doing that. That was the wrong one. That one. And come back again. See Cindy next week and me in 2 weeks. I should have this guy, at least the bottom of it fixed and hopefully finished. And check out the other things we got going on. The sale is this weekend, ends on Sunday midnight, I think. Maybe Monday, I'm not quite sure. So anyway, thanks again for joining. Have a great weekend. Get in your shop and turn something, and be kind. Bye, y'all. Thanks again.